Okay, so now this is pretty much dry. It's warped a little bit because it's 150 GSM paper, and that's what it does. So if you look at it, it's got all little warps on it, too much liquid on it. If I wanted to glaze just say this part, I don't really have to do much. See that's got a really nice line. As I said, these brushes are good. So get some liquid in the brush, and then I'm just doing the same thing. I'm not, it's the same. In fact, I'm not even using paint anymore. I'm just pushing the water down. There is a good way to destroy this, and I'll show that to you in a second, which is why you're going to get all these patches that you see in your drawings. And that is, you go back and forth and keep. I'm not going back and forth at all, and therefore, having the brush and the moisture in the brush really helps, because I don't have to lift the brush at all. I haven't done anything. I just went over it, and as long as it's damp and it's moving, it's fine. And there. So when I look at this now, and when this dries up, I would have to mop this a bit right at the end, but when I look at this, it will be fine and even. But I can go and spoil this, and that's very easy to do, and by just, and then pushing it, and then pushing it, and then pushing it, and trying to fill in the spaces. Now when this dries up, this is going to look really ugly. And it's not going to have this clean finish or this finish that this part has. So yeah, the paper's warped and stuff, and that's not really the problem. The problem is that you keep pushing it all the time, and what you're doing is disturbing the pigment on the paper. So if I were to put red here, it's pushing the blue out and it's trying to get in, and it's mixing, and then it becomes muddy. Once you push too much, it becomes muddy. If you just wanted to put a red on top, you would have to wait for it to get a little dry. That's a bit dry, it's still wet. But really, if we took just this little part, you just start here and you keep going, and put some more water. You don't even have to put paint. Just keep going, and you get an even wash. And you can do this really quickly. The problem is likely to be your brush. It's not likely to be anything else. So that's an even glaze, but that's just like an even wash as well. It's the same thing. It's just straight and even, and when it dries up, it will not look like this, which is, it's hard for me to muck it up, because all I've done is create cauliflowers. But your paint will be thicker, for instance, and you'll get this kind of stuff, and when it dries up, it looks all patchy and terrible. And that's because, one, you don't have the right brush, and two, because you keep pushing it instead of just pulling it down. So I'll do the pull down again. Just look at that. There's the liquid, down, down. There's no problem. There's nothing to do. And you can do it really fast. So I'll try it at the top. Okay, so there wasn't enough moisture. You can tell because you didn't get the bead. So once you get the bead, there's enough moisture in the brush. You can go really quick. Notice that I'm going over his hair, but I'm not too concerned. If later this was a dark object, I would just put this brush away and get this 10 number brush instead, which is also in Escoda. And now, instead of this watery stuff, I would get something which was more darker. And it's still wet here, but let's go into the dry area, and you can see it's not very hard for me to just go overlap. Now it's wet, so it's cauliflowering, but if it were dry, so let's take an area that's dry, and assume this was a color like that, then even if it overlapped, I could go over it and move from there. You're really looking at fewer brush strokes, so you're letting the paint roll in you know. And if you're going to have to do many brush strokes, it means you've got the wrong brush, and you should go for another brush. Now everything's running all over because it's all wet, but
Okay.
the purpose of this demonstration is to show you, one, how you can go over a very complex object, two, how the wash can be clear, three, how you can create these patches all by yourself, or it can be pretty clear, and four, even if you happen to go over something that later is going to be dark, like, you know, the jacket's going to be dark, you don't have to worry. If it was slightly, it's gone over it, you don't have to worry. You would have to worry if this guitar was yellow or yellow ochre, because now as you go over it, look, the dark is going to come in. Even if it's dry, you're going to get some stuff. So you want to do the lights first. So do your wash first, do the faces, all the light objects, and then go over the dark. And that's how you get moving.
So can you just repeat about doing the light colors first?
Well, do the lights first. So in this picture, when you're looking at it and you've done your value sketch, the face is going to be light, that's going to be light, this is going to be light, that's going to be light, the guitar is going to be light. What else is going to be light? You know, maybe the inside of the jacket is a little yellow, you know, brighter orange. Maybe the jeans will be a lighter blue. So you want to do the lights first, because once you come over it and you go black or you go dark brown or whatever, because you're creating nice depth there, you can go over, you know, even if this has gone a bit over, the black is denser and it's deeper, and so it'll go right over whatever that orange color is, and you won't see the orange anymore. But if you try to go orange, first black and then orange, then some of that black will spill into the orange, and that's the kind of trouble that you're seeing here.
Okay.
So there you go. And
No.
yeah.